Hey, what's going on there, youth pastors? Paul Turner here from thediscipleproject.net. Let me ask you a question. Do you ever struggle with your identity as a believer and your identity as a pastor? That is the question Giles asked me during our coaching session, and I wanted to share my answer with all of you because I feel like the line gets blurred between these two identities and it only leads to more problems. Now, before I share with you how I answered Giles' question, if you like videos about youth ministry, games, lessons, and advice on how to be a great youth pastor, this might be the channel for you, so go ahead and smash the subscribe button if you want videos like this on a regular basis. And I also want to thank Giles for giving me permission to share part of our coaching session with all of you. Stick around to find out in the end how you can receive coaching and level up in your ministry, and for some of you, maybe even save your job. Now, to answer the question about church identity and our identity in Christ, here's my answer.
So yesterday, this kind of goes with it. We went on Sunday night. We don't have Sunday night services, but there's a lake about 20 minutes from here, and they have a little small Church of Christ there with maybe 60 people on a Sunday morning. And so Sunday afternoon, they'll probably have half that, quarter of that maybe. And we decided several weeks ago that we were going to go out there as a youth group and we were going to host them for Sunday night service, or they were going to host us, but we would run it. We would serve them in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been in that church before, but I've been in that church 100 times, if that makes sense. Been in tons, and it was nice, although I was still working and I was still leading the guys um, and the girls into whatever they were doing and playing in order. It didn't feel like I was at work, and so it was nice to kind of like step out of the world of being a minister and just the world of being a church member again. Do you ever find that? Do you try to balance that sometimes? Going to other
Well,
church events maybe or not going at all?
well, absolutely. I think you have to separate. And Sundays, right? I mean, the joke is always, that Sundays are Sabbath days, except if you work there. It's
Yeah.
it's not in the framework of it's a day of rest. It's not a day of rest for those of us who serve, obviously, right? I mean,
Sure.
in that regard. But I think you're correct in saying that there has to be a partition between you, the church, the believer, and
Mhm.
you, the church, the minister. One is a job that you do, and one is a position you have in Christ, right? Sure, is the minister one you have a position? Yes, but there's so much more attachment with the other. I mean, it was one thing to enjoy your relationship with the Lord, and some people could just meld it together. That's perfectly fine. They have no um, problem with the juxtaposition or the
Yeah.
connecting together of it. But I also think that there's a I think because for men, and I'll just speak for men, obviously, right? Because I is one, that we value our jobs, we value work, we value our position in the sense of that's the first question we ask guys usually. Well, what do you do? What do
Mhm.
you do for a living, right? And I think the partition between us as ministers and us as believers, we have to value the believer position more than we value the minister position.
Good.
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen because one of those two things can go away, and one of them never goes away.
True.
So the identity portion of it, that you have to say, I'm a believer in Jesus. If this meeting fails and I do a terrible job,
Mhm.
I'm still a believer in Jesus. I'm
That's
still I'm still part of his family. I'm still part of the larger institution, this larger body. I'm still a part.
yeah.
The problem is when we get so attached to the position, the physical position of being a minister, is that our whole identity is in that. That men, I think, have to watch out for. We have to be careful that we don't say this ministry is what we do. It's not necessarily who we are. It's a fine line that I think that's in there. That I think it's always good to find a partition somewhere in there, whether it's taking that Sunday off and going to another church.
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, I'm taking a sabbatical, or I'm going to do whatever it is I'm going to do, and I'm just going to go into a church and be a believer." Right? Which is very hard to do in your own church, because you
Yeah,
see, and it's even harder sometimes to go to another church because for me, I'll speak for me, is that you're always looking at for ideas or you're looking for
right.
whatever you're doing, right? So I think you're correct in saying that it's important to hold on more tightly to your identity in Christ and making sure that you're taking the time to feed that portion of you, the part that does never goes away, and less time feeding the portion that will eventually go away someday. Hey, I hope that answer helped you in some way if you've struggled to find the line between your position in the church and your position in Christ. If you're looking to have deeper conversations about youth ministry and how to skill build or manage your ministry better, consider Catalyst Coaching, where we meet twice a month for 3 months to talk through your biggest concerns and needs in ministry. There'll be a link below. And if you'd like to watch a testimony from a youth worker who received great benefit from coaching, well, I'm going to say go ahead and watch this video right over here. Remember to hit the like button on this video because it tells me you do like the video and you want more videos like them. But that's it for everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.